So today we are looking at the SparkyLinux 7.5. So this is the latest version of the SparkyLinux and it's the fifth update or the fifth point update, you can call it like that. I'm choosing the Xfce desktop environment. So let's quickly boot it in the live boot. So the codename for the SparkyLinux 7 is Orion Belt. So the SparkyLinux is based on the Debian 12 Bookworm and they have like some desktop environments. I'm going to go through all the important information and all those things as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So right now I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is VMware with 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So I'm going to discuss about the highlights and also I'm going to mention the system requirements and all the other things also. So let it boot and we are going to continue as soon as it shows the desktop layout. So here is our desktop layout. It took just like a minute and 20 seconds to load up the desktop layout. And the country of origin of the SparkyLinux is the Poland. So here is our desktop layout. So before changing the display settings, I'm going to show you the task manager so that we can see how much of resource it's going to consume. And about the task manager, about the system resources, so it's going to consume way lesser on the bare metal. So you need to understand these common things. And also the user experience and all the transitions, animations will be a bit better in the bare metal when compared to the virtual machines. So there will be some minor hiccups here and there in the virtual machines, even if you provide all the good hardware specs. In my case, I'm using i5 1240p CPU and like a 8 GB of RAM and 60 GB of virtual disk, and you should be also seeing some minor hiccups here and there, but it will be not the same case in the bare metal. So it's going to be performing way better and also it's going to consume way lesser resources also, like a CPU and RAM. So right now we need to run like a CPU almost like a 60 seconds or a minute to get the stable graph. But you can see the RAM, it's consuming like a 1.3 GB of RAM of 8 GB and the available is 7.7 GB. So it's consuming like a 1.3 GB, but in the bare metal it's going to consume like a maybe 900 or 1000 GB or a 1 GB, sorry. So that's how the difference will be. You don't see like a major difference in the RAM and CPU. There will be a bit difference, but you don't see like a 700-800 MB of difference. You just see like a 400-500 MB of difference maximum. So let's first change the display settings so we can go and check all the information also. So this is the fifth update or the fifth point update. So let's first change the display settings. So I already posted a video in the before like 4 hours ago, because I'll be posting 2 days daily. The video was the Fedora LXQt desktop environment of 41 beta. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out. So here is my monitor resolution and the welcome screen doesn't show anything, just a blank white screen. So these are all the process running right now as soon as you boot up. So I didn't touch anything other than the display settings. I didn't change any power settings or anything. So this is how it's running. So I'm going to keep the task manager in the right side corner throughout the video so you can see all the changes on your own and you can decide whether to use this distribution or not. So let's first open the internet browser and let's go to the official website. So here is our Firefox web browser. So the latest stable version of the Firefox is 130, but let's see what version we get in the SparkyLinux 7.5. And the SparkyLinux is based on Debian 12 Bookworm. So the internet browser should take like maybe 15 seconds. So here we have already our browser. So I'm going to keep the smaller size so you can see the task manager throughout the video, so you can judge whether to use this or not. So let's change the size first and let's check the version of the browser. And also the beta version is also available of the Firefox, which is 131 beta. And the version you get is 115.15.0 ESR. So this is the version you get in the Firefox. Let's close all the tabs. Let's type in like a about support. About. So I think there is issue with the keyboard. So the keyboard is not working. So I'm trying here to type, but it's not working. So the only thing is to fix this thing is you just need to reboot, or you can just restart it. So same thing, restart it, or I don't think when you log it out it's going to work, but you need to just restart the PC. So I'm just going to restart the PC and I'm going to continue, because sometimes there will be issues with the virtual machines. Not every time it will be like that. So there will be some distros which triggers this type of things or bugs sometimes. So the one thing was like previously I made a Linux distro video, even that distro has some issues, but when you restart it, it's going to work. So I'm going to now restart the Linux distro of SparkyLinux, and we are going to continue as soon as it's booted up. So we are back with the video again. So let me type in about support. So I restarted the PC. So it's going to work now. So as you can see, everything is working. Let me type in about support. So here is the about support to get some information and also the browser information. So the version already discussed. The Linux kernel you get is the 6.1.0. Let's search the Linux kernel. Let's type in like a Linux and kernel. You just need to type in like this and the official website will be available, which is the first link. I'm using a VPN, so there is some random language here. So let's open the official website. So the official website is www.kernel.org, or else you can use the search term as Linux kernel. So the kernel we are getting is 6.1.0. So let's find the version. So here is the version, which is a long term 6.1. And the release date is 2024-09-18. So let's go to the releases. Let's scroll it down and get the information of the 6.1. So it is released on 2022-12-11, and the end of life of the Linux kernel 6.1 is December 2026. So this is the release date, and the latest release was on the 2024. Here is the date, 2024-09-18. So it released on September, the latest version of 6.1. After the 1, it's a 111. So it was released on 2024-09-18. And you can get all the information in the releases, like end of life and all those things. And also, in order to get the kernel version, you can just type in like a uname-r, or else you can use the uname-a for the Linux kernel. So that was some information of the Linux kernel. Let's get back to the video. So operating system theme is SparkyLinux 6, and also the same thing here. So it's not a light or dark, it just says as a SparkyLinux 6 or a Sparky 6. So I'm using 8 GB of RAM, it says 7.7 GB available, 3.8 GB of disk space available. So here is some browser information which I don't consider as important, but if you consider as important, you can just pause the video and read everything. Here is the Mesa version. And if you scroll it down, you should be also seeing again. Here is the version 22.3.6. And let's scroll it down. So window protocol, it's X11. Desktop environment is Xfce. And here is again the Mesa version. When you scroll it down, you should be also seeing the monitor resolution. And here are some other information. You can just pause the video and read everything if you consider it as important. So let's go to the official website. Just type in like a SparkyLinux as the search term. Hit enter. The first link will be the official website, which is SparkyLinux.org. So when you see this, you should be seeing the news here, or else you can go to the about or any other forums if you want here. So here are all the information. But if you want to get the news, you just need to scroll down and you should be getting the SparkyLinux 7.5. The code name which I already mentioned is Orion Belt. So this is the code name, and here is complete information. Let's go through all the information and get the important information. Usually I will highlight, give you the highlight in the beginning, but I want to show you completely, so that's the reason I waited until launching the browser and opening the official website, so I can clearly show you everything instead of just talking. So the codename already mentioned, it's fully compatible with the Debian 12 Bookworm. So it's based on the Debian 12 Bookworm, which I also mentioned in the beginning. And about the changes, all packages updated from Debian and Sparky stable repos as of September 17th, 2024. So you get the latest packages updated. And the Linux kernel PC, you get the 6.1 LTS and 6.11.0, 6.6.51 LTS, 5.15, 167 LTS in Sparky repos. So this is the latest version, which is a 6.11.0, which is a mainline, and this is the long-term version. And another thing is Linux kernel ARM 6.6.47 LTS. For the ARM, here is the 6.6. And about the applications, you get the LibreOffice 7.4.7, 24.2.5 in Debian backports repo. And about the KDE Plasma desktop environment, you should be getting 5.27.5. So you don't get the latest KDE Plasma like a 6.2 beta or 6.1. But it's better you should have this version, because the 6.1 version has some issues in my PC. I tried everything like a bare metal, live boot, virtual machine. Everything had the same issue because the CPU was consuming like a 98%. I have the latest CPU, which is i5 1240p, and the CPU was consuming way more, like a 90% throughout the video. Because of that thing, the video was a bit of laggy also. So if you want to check that videos, you can check it out, or else you can ask your friends who is using the 6.1.4. He's going to mention that. And about the LXQt desktop environment, you get the 1.2.0. The Fedora beta version of 41 has the 2.0.1 version of LXQt. If you want to check that out, the video is already available few hours ago in my channel. Here is the Mac desktop environment. You get the same 1.26, and about the Xfce, you get the 4.18. So right now we are using the 4.18 of Xfce. Let me show you about SparkyLinux and also about the Xfce. Let me show you that. About Xfce, so we are using a 4.18. So GTK version is 3.24.38, Xfce version is 4.18. Here is the SparkyLinux. Here is the kernel, here is my CPU and all the other information. And here is the about SparkyLinux, codename already mentioned, 7.5, kernel and other information. So user is live, so it's a live boot. And about the password and all those things, I'm going to show you everything. So the Openbox version is 3.6.1, Firefox, which I already showed you. So in this Sparky repos, you get the latest version, also the point update, which is 130.0.1. And about the Thunderbird, you should be getting 115.15.0, which is I think Supernova instead of something else, like a 128 has different name like a Nebula or something like that. So you get this all the changes in the 7.5, and Nala removed for some reason, still available in the official repos. And about the third-party apps, VirtualBox packages updated to version 7.1 in Sparky repos. 7.0 has to be uninstalled before installing 7.1. So if you're using VirtualBox, just read this thing. And about the other information, like a SparkyLinux 7.5 Orion Belt is available in the following versions. So here is all the information about the user credential, live, and ARM user password is pi Sparky. So LIVE and LIVE is the user and password for the PC. For the ARM, PI is the user and Sparky is the password. If you have like a Sparky 7 installed, simply keep it up to date. No need to reinstall your OS. So if you want to upgrade, you can just update it. You don't need to reinstall anything here. So in order to download, you just need to new ISO images of Sparky 7 Orion Belt can be downloaded from the download stable package. So let's click on it. So the country of origin of the SparkyLinux is Poland. So about the desktop environments, you get the LXQt, which is a lightweight, matte, kinda lightweight. Xfce is also a lightweight, and KDE Plasma you already know, I don't need to say anything here. So these are all the ISO files you get, like a 1.89 GB for the LXQt, 2.07 GB for the matte, 1.72 for the Xfce, and KDE for the 2.17. So here is also the minimal GUI. If you want, you can download whatever you want here. So it's going to take you to the official website. Here is the ARM ISO files. So ARM files, sorry, I said ISO file. So So let's open some file. So this is the ISO file I have downloaded. So here are the some of the mirrors. So I'm going to choose the USA mirror, or else you can go with the source code if you want. So it says some warning. So it's always good option, do your research, and if you get all the information then download it, or else you just need to try it in the virtual machines. So SparkyLinux is from a lot of years, so if you really trust them, you can go with the download here, or else you can download from the source code. Always check the signatures and all those things. So this is how you download. So if you ask me about recommendation of any Linux distro, I never recommend any operating systems, or I never recommend any Linux distros. It's always your option to decide whether to use it or not, because of your system requirements, and also what are your requirements, like if you are for using for programming or for gaming. So it completely depends on your own thing. So that's the reason it's your job to research all the things. Never trust on someone's videos or someone. It's always a good option to do your own research and get all the information. Don't blindly watch someone's video and install, whether it's even my video. Never trust on anyone. Always do your own research. If you liked it, and if you don't have any issues, you can download and try it on your PC. So if you already have the stable running Linux distro, don't go with some random Linux distributions. Even it's a well-known distributions. If you have like a good Linux distributions, just keep that one. If it has like a good support and all those things, it's better to stay with that Linux distro. If you want some customization, you just need to watch tutorials and sit and get all the information, and you can customize according to your wish. Don't just go with the fancy Linux distros. Always go with the stability. And also when you go with the well-known distributions, even if you have like some issues, people going to help, because there are a lot of good people who can help for you. So if you download like a well-known distributions, they're going to easily help you. If you download like some random Linux distributions, it's pretty much very hard for them to also to help. So that's the reason I'm recommending to do this type of things. So we got all the information from the official website, and also I showed you downloading process. So we're just going to close everything, and let's open the terminal and type in some commands to get some distro information. Let's make it bigger. Let's check the information or the about of the terminal, which is 1.0.4. Let's change the color so you can properly see. Let's load a preset which is black and white. Let me type in neofetch first. So command not found. So I'm going to install the neofetch also. So let's first see the inxi -sv8. So inxi is pre-installed, so let's continue with the inxi. So let's scroll it up and get all the information. The host, it says as a live boot, because I'm running it as a live boot, and the kernel version, which I already mentioned, 64-bit, and compiler GCC version is 12.2.0. Here is some another information, and the desktop environment is a Xfce 4.18.1, GTK version is 3.24.36, and the XFWM version is 4.18.0, LightDM version is 1.26.0, distro is SparkyLinux 7.5 Orion Belt, and it's based on Debian 12 Bookworm, which I already mentioned. Here is the virtual machine information, which I don't consider as important, so I'm just going to skip that thing. And about the RAM, I'm using 8 GB of RAM, so the available RAM is 7.72 GB, used is 1.37. As you can see, it's a 1.3 GB here. And here is my CPU, which is i5 1240p, and here is like a topology vulnerabilities, which is unnecessary for the video. So let's scroll it down and get some graphics information. So VMWGFX version is 2.20.0, and here is the display X11. XORS version is 1.21.1.7. XFWM version is 4.18.0. So here are all the monitor resolutions available, and OpenGL version is 4.3. Mesa version is 22.3.6, which I already mentioned in the browser also. Let's scroll it down and get some audio information. So here is the ELSA. Pulse audio version is 16.1, and here is the network, Bluetooth, drives, partitions, swap, and all the unnecessary things for the video. So if you want to read, you can just pause the video and read everything. here is the repos, which is also not necessary for the video. So process running is 259, uptime is almost 15 minutes, wake-ups 156, init systemd version is 252, compiler GCC already mentioned, shell bash version is 5.2.15 and INXI version is 3.3.26. So let me type in cat /etc/issue. Here you can see SparkyLinux 7.5 Orion Belt. Let's type in INXI -small b, INXI-G, INXI-F. So these are all the same commands, but you get the everything in a short form. So let me try to install the NeoFetch now. So I installed the NeoFetch in the background. So let me type in NeoFetch. Hit enter. So it says SparkyLinux 7.5, uptime is almost 24 minutes. So I updated even the packages in the background. So the packages 1900 dpkg, shell bash version 5.2.15. Here is other things like themes, icons, terminal and font color and all those things. So it's consuming like a 2 GB right now. It's almost like a 25 minutes complete. So we got all the information. So if you want Htop, you can install the Htop also. So you just need to type in like a sudo apt install Htop. So I installed all those things. So let's close everything. And let's see the about the applications. So can we resize this? So we can resize the application menu or the app menu. So here is all the applications. Let's check the pre-installed applications you get in the SparkyLinux. So these are all the important applications. So some of them are from the Xfce, some of them from the SparkyLinux. So you get the Office suite, like a Raspberry Pi imager, the browser. So a normal user has everything in this. You get all the applications for the normal user, like a document viewer and all those things. So that's a good thing. So I don't consider it as a bloatware, but so it's clearly different opinion for different users. Most of them are important for a normal user, like appearance, power manager, and the internet browser, LibreOffice, the Thunderbird, and all those things. So it's pretty much important for me. I don't think it has a bloatware or anything like that. So let's open the installer. Let's double click on the installer. So you get the pop-up launch anyway. And also the wallpaper is pretty much same, so there is nothing changed here. I'm going to show you in the desktop background and all those things part. So right now let's go with the installer. So you get the Calamares 3.2.61 Orion Belt. So I'm just going to show you the installation. I'm not going to install because I need to make another video. So a lot of language selections, same thing, so nothing changed in Calamares. So the location, choose your location. You can choose the map or you can choose the drop down menu. The system language will be set to American English, United States. If you want to customize, just click on change and customize according to wish. And the numbers and date locales will be set to American English, United States. Again, same thing. If you want to customize, you can customize, or else keep it like that. Click next, choose your keyboard. So it automatically chooses your keyboard. If anything is wrong, just search for your keyboard. Choose the language for the keyboard, choose the variant. And if you want to test your keyboard, you can type here. Click next. And here you should be seeing your partition or the installation drive wherever you want to install the SparkyLinux. So basically this option is erase disk, means it's going to erase whatever the available things in the installation drive or the installation destination. So choose your drive. If you have like a multiple partition, choose where you want to install. And when you click on the erase disk, as soon as you click on install, it's going to wipe everything, even your photos, current operating systems, and whatever the media files, whatever it is, it's going to erase everything. And it's going to install the SparkyLinux as a single boot in that installation drive or the installation path or the hard disk, whatever you can call it like that. And here is the options like a no swap and all the options. And on the manual partitioning, you need to create a partition before choosing the partition. And here you can choose the partition and you can install the SparkyLinux 7.5 in that specific partition. And you should be seeing dual boot options in the boot menu, like a two operating systems option. One will be the current operating system and the another will be the SparkyLinux. So when you choose the RS disk option, you can encrypt your system by providing the password, which should be same in both the boxes. The current drive will be like this, and after installation it will be like this. And about the bootloader location, here are the options. So if you don't know how to install the Linux distro in the virtual disk or whatever the hard disk, SATA gate or whatever it is, so you just need to watch tutorials of installation. So I have like a videos like a 3000 videos, but I never made a specific installation tutorial. So I will be covering most of the everything. So that's the reason I don't recommend you to watch my videos just for the installation. Instead of that, you can watch some channels in the YouTube, like their videos will be like a 2 or 1 minute videos. Like watch short videos of the installation and you should be good with the installation. So there is nothing complicated. You just need to watch this part and you should be good with the installation. And other things I'm going to show you somehow. So when you click next, here you should be creating a user account, which is same in every Linux distro and which is same in every operating system. In the Linux it's a bit of easy, so it's clearly simple here. So it says what is your name, so I'm just going to provide my channel name here, 9to5 Linux. And if you're typing everything right, you should be seeing a tick mark or a correct sign here. What name do you want to use to log in? So for example, if you use the numericals, so you should be getting an error sign, which is your username must start with a lowercase letter or an underscore. So that's the reason it's better to use the alphabets. So I'm using runboxing. And next one is what is the name of this computer. So if you want to keep the virtual machine, you can keep it, or else you can just type in like this. So you should be seeing everything is a correct sign here. And next one is choose a password to keep your account safe. Provide some password here. So always provide a strong password. So everything is correct. So the password should be same in both the boxes and you should be seeing a tick mark here. Log in automatically without asking for the password. If you want to check it, you can check it, or else you can uncheck it. So use the same password for the administrator account. If you want to use the same password for the administrator account, you can keep it, just check it and the password will be same, or else uncheck it and you can provide other password. It's clearly up to you. Always remember the password or use the mobile apps like a note taking apps and it should be good. And next one is the summary. So here is the summary of whatever you choose in the previous installation steps will be right here, like a location, keyboard, partitions and all those things. So everything is right. Just click on install and the installation will start. So if anything is wrong, just go back and fix all those things. So the installation will take like maybe 15 to 20 minutes, depends on your PC, and also it depends if you have the recommended requirements of the SparkyLinux, it's going to be easy. If you have like a low-end PC, it's going to take a bit more. So it's completely you can understand those things. And also if you download the stable ISO files, you should be installed without any issues. Like a 99% of the time there will be no issues or anything like that, crashes or anything like that. But in the when you download the beta versions or the unstable version, they didn't say, there are like some cases there will be like a installation may fail and there will be like a blank screen or maybe like a not responding. This type of issues will happen in the unstable ISO file. So if you are a normal user, it's better to always go with the stable ISO files. Whether if it's even it's late, it's better to wait for the stable ISO files. If you want to try it as soon as the ISO file is available, you can try it in the virtual machines or a LibreOffice. Never do that in the main PC or work PC, only if you want to install it as a main operating system. Even if you want to install it as a main operating system, always wait for someone's videos, or else you can just wait for a few days as soon as the stable ISO file is released. So that was the installation. So let's close everything. So I forgot to show you the system requirements of the SparkyLinux. So let me open the internet browser. So it's based on Debian, so it doesn't consume that much of resources. So let's search first. Let's search with the Google. Let's type SparkyLinux and the system requirements. So it says here like a CPU 32-bit or 64-bit Pentium 4 or AMD, but it's better to go with the official website. So here are all the recommended or the minimum requirements. So what is the minimum requirements to run SparkyLinux as well as 32-bit or 64-bit? So SparkyLinux is designed for old and new machines. You can run it as a 32 and 64-bit. CPU, here is the CPU. 256 MB of RAM for the LXDE and Openbox E7 game over, and 390 MB of RAM for the MAT Razer QT, and 128 MB of RAM for the CLI edition, 512 MB swap partition or bigger, 5 GB of a hard drive or a flash drive for installation, 10 GB recommended, 20 GB of hard drive or flash USB stick for installation, 30 GB recommended for game over, 2 GB of hard drive or flash USB stick for installation, which is CLI edition, and optical drive or USB port. So the minimum requirements is like this. So if you ask me, it's 2024, you need to have like a 1 GB of RAM, and about the CPU, 1 GHz CPU will be good, 1 GHz or 1.5 GHz. Or like a dual core i3, whatever it is, the latest versions will be good in order to run like a 70% of every Linux distros. But if you have like a low end PC, there is no problem. You can run every other like a LXQt, LXD, whatever the desktop environments. So there are a lot of desktop environments you can easily run. You don't need to buy new things or anything like that. I'm just saying like in order to run almost 70 to 80% of Linux distros in 2024, you need to have like a 2 GB of RAM, 2 GB or 4 GB of RAM, 2 GHz dual core processor, and 50 or 40 GB of hard disk, and monitor like a 1366 into 768, and you can run almost everything like a GNOME, KDE and all those things. So if you have like a low-end PC, you don't need to worry about it. Like SparkyLinux and Fedora has also the desktop spins and desktop environments, lightweight desktop environments. So you can use those things to get all the latest applications, latest kernels or the LTS kernels. So you don't need to worry about it even if you have like a low-end PC. So the Linux is only made for low-end PCs and also for the good-end PCs. So there is no issues. Whatever PC you have, you can run any type of Linux distros. You just need to do your research and you can get whatever the Linux distros. There are a lot of distros like a Fedora, SparkyLinux, Debian, Ubuntu, Ubuntu, like a lot of Linux distros. You just need to do your research. Use like a ChatGPT AI tools or whatever the AI tools which will help you. So that was some of the information of the system requirements. So we got all the information. So let's finally do a stress test. So the stress test is like opening a bunch of applications to see whether the distro will handle day-to-day tasks, because a normal user will be opening like 4 to 5 applications at a single time. So that's the reason. So you don't have a bunch of resource consuming applications here, but whatever available in the SparkyLinux, I'm going to open and see whether there will be some crashes or anything like that. So usually you don't see any crashes or anything like that in the SparkyLinux, but let's do a test, because I usually do this type of test in every Linux distro video. So let's try to do that here also. Let's open a few more applications. So you don't get GIMP or anything like that, so you need to install everything on your own. So here is the hex chat. So I think we are good, I think. And also you need to consider I'm using 8 GB of RAM, so even if I open all the applications in the SparkyLinux 7.5, it's going to be running smoothly without issues. So you need to see how much of resources you have, and you need to open that much of applications. So for the test video, I'm opening a bunch of applications here. So I opened like 4 or 5 applications. Now let's see the task manager. So it's consuming like 2.7 GB, and also it's running it on the virtual machine, so there will be a bit lesser in the RAM and CPU when you run it on the bare metal. So these are all the processes running right now. So every application is already opened. So let's try to switch the applications. So I don't see any lag or any crashes. Everything is opening instantly, and I can switch the applications without issues. So there was some lag here, just a millisecond. maybe because of my wireless mouse, but right now everything is working without issues. So that's a good work. It's based on Debian latest 12 Bookworm. So let's check the applications and end the video because those are the main changes. So here are all the packages. So the highlighted or the highlighted green box will be installed packages. Installed version will be left side, the latest version will be right side, and here is some description. Let's check the version of the Synaptic Package Manager, which is 0.91.3. So here is the Tuner File Manager 4.18.4. Here you can customize. Again, these are all the same things like a Xfce desktop environment. You can customize according to your wish. And here is our VLC media player. So you get the 3.0.21. Here is the Raspberry Pi Imager. Version is 1.8.5. And here is the HexChat image viewer. So Exile 4.1.3. The browser, which I already showed you. And I forgot to show you the Thunderbird also. Let me show you the Thunderbird. The version should be 115 Supernova. So let's open the Thunderbird. About the desktop backgrounds and the features, like a desktop features, everything is same because of Xfce, so you don't see any changes. Here are the notifications. Here is the clipboard. Here is the volume. You can edit the clipboard. Here is the network. And about the Thunderbird, you should be seeing the Supernova 115.15.0, which is mentioned in the official website. So about the desktop backgrounds, let's first check the appearance. Here are all the themes available. So you don't get a bunch of themes, you just get simple things here. Curve and dawn, dusk, all those things. Let's scroll it up and find another things. So here is our appearance. Here is the icons, the fonts, settings. If you want window scaling, you can just type in like a 2x and everything will be like a bold. So let me show you. So this is how it looks on the 2x. So I don't want to use the 2x. So let's keep the task manager in the right side corner. Let's check the desktop backgrounds. Let's click on the desktop settings. So you don't see any wallpapers other than the older versions. So here are all the wallpapers. So these are all the wallpapers you get in the 7.5. So I think some are there from the latest version, maybe some are from the older version. So I don't really remember. If you're using a SparkyLinux previous version like a 7.4, you should be seeing all the changes immediately. But I'll be making 2 videos daily without missing, so it's pretty much very hard to remember whatever the older versions, backgrounds and all those things. So you can easily understand, or you can easily find the changes here. But there is no such thing said in the official website, but if anything is changed, do let me know in the comment section. So at the end of the video, this is how it's running. So it's consuming like a 2.3 GB, process 265, CPU around like a 30-40%. So we got all the information. So I'm just going to show you the control center or the settings manager, and I'm going to end the video. Like here is the window manager tweaks. Again, these are all the same customization things. I don't think it's as important. Let's see the keyboard. Same things, all settings. Here is the power manager. I kept everything as a default, so there is nothing change here. Mouse and touchpad, you can customize according to your wish. So I kept everything as default, which I already mentioned. So here is the notifications. You can customize according to your wish. So I think I'm going to end the video here. Session and startups. You can add, you can remove, you can edit, you can do whatever you want. So that was the video. Everything is working fine without any issues. So if you want to update, you can update. So it's better to wait for a few days. If you want, you can try it right now. So I didn't face any issues or any bugs, but if you want to update it, it's clearly up to you. So that's the SparkyLinux 7.5, and I'm going to show you the logout screen and I'm going to end the video. So the password and user is LIVE. LIVE is the password and LIVE is the user. So that's the SparkyLinux 7.5. Here is the desktop sessions, accessibility, date and time, and the power options. Again, thanks for watching. Peace out.